Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. We are talking to you today, guys, about an important topic. We're talking about it's time to let them go. It's crazy. I don't know. I've been doing some video. Well, I say videos, but I've been talking some stuff on Instagram. I've been doing where I've done day one, day two, day three, and kind of giving my daily wisdom. And day seven was about let them go. It's time. Okay. And I think this is a timely message for somebody or some people. And I think it really will help in individuals going forward. And I reason why I talked about this time is because we sometimes waste time on relationships that no longer benefit us, that no longer give us what we actually need. And sometimes we stick in them because we are afraid of being alone. And, let's be honest, relationships are never easy. Okay. Relationships ain't a joke. And relationships are hard. But it is time to let that person go. You know who they are and what they're about, and you know that it's time. You're at that critical pinnacle and crux where you're like, "Do you know what? I just don't need to be here." But because I'm struggling to let them go, because you see, I'm getting some type of benefit from it, and I don't know how to release myself from that situation. And so we're talking a little bit for the next 15 or so minutes about it's time to let them go. So I'll just post up this little the what it was the thing I put up here on my Instagram. You guys should follow me on Instagram as well. If you do, I'm going to be putting up daily posts like this every single day on my story, and so you'll see what we're talking about on there. So I said, obviously, letting a relationship go that doesn't work for you can be difficult. It's hard to let go of something that you have heavily invested time, money, energy, and emotion into. The stock you're holding onto is declining, and the longer you hold, the more opportunities pass by to reinvest in something that will yield better results. That's a cost you can't calculate until time hasn't been kind and you're looking back retrospectively. It's time to sell the stock, grasp the lessons, and prepare your heart to reinvest at a later date in something new. There is a time and a season for everything underneath the sun. And I want to let you know that, listen, I get it, right? It's tough. Relationships are hard. And in some respects, relationships can be very difficult to navigate. But the reality of these situations is this, that, when you get to a point where you realize this relationship is no longer serving you, it's no longer bringing what is required, and bringing what you actually need, this is time to let go. Okay, let me tell you a little story. Quickly, there was a time when I broke up with one of my exes, and I remember how difficult it was to break up. I remember how difficult it was to get myself to a place where I said, let me exit this relationship. In fact, it got so hard. I remember God giving me dreams to let it go, but I didn't want to let it go. Okay, because I was scared of being alone. I was scared of being lonely, right? But being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. But I was scared of being lonely. And so I didn't want to cut off this relationship because, again, who will love me, who will take care of me, who will appreciate me, who will want me, who will, give me the same satisfaction that you give me? Can I get the same type of gal with a bigger the back? You know what I mean? I like it like that. You know what I mean? Like Chingy would say, whoa, I like that. I like that. Okay, let me stop. But you know what I mean? Like I had so many different thoughts in my head as to why I wasn't going to let this relationship go. And so, interestingly enough, it got to a point where the relationship came to an end, and um, I remember that I was going to a radio show, whatever, to do a talk, and the radio show didn't happen that particular day. They said, "Oh, we got to reschedule," and on the same day, I was meant to go to a Bible study of such, and because of the radio show, I wasn't going to go to the Bible study. So I was like, "All right, cool. Radio show is not working anymore. I'll go to the Bible study." I get to the Bible study, and I kid you not, what's he talking about? He's talking about relationships. He's talking about a topic called "Let it go. And I'm just there like, why am I here? I don't want to be in a space. I don't want to be a place where someone's telling me to let it go, because I don't want to let it go. You see, and many of us are not ready to let something go. And even when we get signs and we get told and we get shown and we smell it and we taste it and we touch it and we see it, we still don't want to let it go because we're not ready to do so. And so when he was saying, he was like, you know what? He was just giving a teaching. It wasn't like he knew anything about me or anything like that. He just said it's time to let it go, and he gave a sermon on a study on it. Right. By the end, I'm writing notes, and as he's talking, I'm just like, I know that this message was for me. I know it, right? But I don't want to let it go. So I say I'm gonna let it go, but I know I'm not gonna let it go. I get to church that week on a Sunday. Guess what the topic's on? Let it go, let it go. Do 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 do. They're like, let it go. And I'm like, wait, what? So now I'm at church too, and y'all gonna be preaching let it go too. So I can't even escape this, right? And so this is wild now into a situation where um I'm in a situation now where I'm being told, let it go. I'm being shown, let it go. And I can't let it go. And here's the reason why I couldn't let it go. One, because I was afraid of being lonely. Yes. But the other aspect was that if I let this go, the scarcity mindset starts kicking. When will the next person come along? How do I start all over again? Do you know how long it took me to start in the first place, to go and start all over again? When would I find time to even try and do this situation? Added to that, I might not even get no better. So why switch over now? Why let that go? Right? But the biggest one, which I think a lot of people feel and can identify with, is once I have to let you go, I now have to face the pain and the hurt that comes along with tearing oneself from a partner when they're in a relationship. That's one of the biggest pains that anybody can feel when it comes to letting things go and why they don't want to let it go. You know there is pain waiting for you at the other side of that road. If you cross that road, you're going to have to encounter pain and you have to let it go. And I just didn't want to do that at the time. And many people don't want to face that reality, because if I cross it, there's no going back. If I cross it, I have to deal with me. If I cross it, there are darker days ahead. And you know what kind of dark days I'm talking about? Where you're just like, you can't eat, you sleeping all day, you don't want to go to work, you're just feeling just depressed. You see people who are happy in relationships, but you can't really be happy because you know your situation is mad. You see things and it reminds you of them. Oh, I know. Breakups not a joke. You know what I mean? It hurts. And so what you realize is letting go becomes a very difficult choice to make because it means facing the reality of pain. So I get it. Um, and I understand where you're coming from. But if you don't let go, you're going to have a bigger problem. Okay? If you don't let go, you're going to have a bigger problem. You're going to have what we call opportunity cost, right? And opportunity cost, what it really means is, you know, the amount of time you're spending in this relationship that you shouldn't be, there are opportunities that are passing you by. There are opportunities, maybe potentially would be with other people who are better to pass you by. The opportunity cost is you're losing ground in terms of even spending time with yourself to heal, recover, and recuperate so you can come again and get into the dating market. You're costing yourself opportunity by staying in it. By staying in it, you're actually adding to your misery and your pain and your hurt. And actually, you're adding more investment into a already sunken investment, which makes it even more painful when you finally exit. You're delaying the inevitable, which is going to make it even more painful. This is difficult. So I understand where you're coming from. I know the investment is huge. You've spent years. You've put money into it. Blood, sweat, tears. You've defended them when nobody else would defend them. You've loved them when no one else thought they could love them. They do things for you that you thought that no one else would do for you. You appreciate them in ways that no one else appreciates them. You just don't know the story though. You're not there. You don't know what it's like when you just no, but I love them. No, you wouldn't understand. And you make some of these concessions and some of these statements because you're trying to defend your choice to stay. But the reality is, you staying is delaying the inevitable. The pain is coming. Let it go. Moses said the same thing. And you saw how difficult it was for Moses. I need you to get the strength of Moses. Let it go. Don't let the opportunities pass you by for healing, for growth, and for potentially even a partner in the future. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Sorry about my singing voice there. So I want you to understand. Listen, I'm not saying that letting things go is easy. It is difficult, but I want you to understand. Being alone isn't loneliness. Being alone does not equate to being lonely. You can be alone and not lonely. And listen, you will gain a whole new perspective when you decide. You're going to gain a whole new perspective when you decide that, you know what? I am going to take this leap of faith and I am going to let this thing go. And you're going to see the world in a completely different way. Trust me. So on that note, I want to leave you with this particular concession. To leave in these situations when you know it's the right time to do so. When you realize there's no growth, there's only backward tracking, there's only disappointment, there's only decline, there's only investment into something that won't invest back into you, won't yield proper results. In that instance, it is time to pack up your stuff and get the walk in. At that instance, you must choose you in order to be able to choose someone else. If you don't choose you first, you can't put someone else first. You're going to consistently be frustrated and you're going to feel like nobody knows your needs and nobody hears your needs because you put others before your own self. It's selfish your selflessness is selfish. So choose you. Don't call it a graduation, though. And I'm not talking about you, those of you in marriage. Those of you in marriage, go and work it out. I don't know what you're going to do. Work it out. Find a way. I appreciate you guys. And welcome to day 7 of 365 days of wisdom. We appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below for those of you watching a replay. What do you think? How does it sit with you? Are you ready to let go? Are you ready to let go? Are you ready to release this thing? Step into a new perspective. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked. Stay